you?
Okay. Welcome to our third episode of Fuel the Firefighters. And we're titling this episode Hot and Hotter because we have, and by the way, yes, I'm Jackie Altman.
I'm Andy Vaughn.
Hi, and we have today, go ahead.
Cesear Corral.
All right.
Hank Castaigne.
Okay, so we've got two firefighters today. Yay. And so it's going to be just a crazy time today. It's going to be amazing. And what are we doing here? What is this?
I'm super excited
Right?
for you to tell us a little bit more about Fuel the Firefighters.
Okay, I want to tell you about Fuel the Firefighters. It's a nonprofit that I started over a year ago. I just woke up the day before 9/11 and I wanted to get lunch for the guys by my house, the fire station, and it just turned into this whole thing. And I got 4 fire stations lunch, and then I also donated money to them, and it was amazing. And everyone was like, "You should do this again." And I was like, "I can do it again." So I started this 501c3. I called it Fuel the Firefighters. This past 9/11 weekend, we actually delivered 361 meals to 11 fire stations, and each fire station got $300. So that way they could spend it on whatever they need.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That helped.
Yeah. So, because we just really appreciate everything that you guys do for the community, and it's important that you know that you're appreciated.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, and I just want to really quickly let the listeners know where they can go to support my 501c3 at, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram. Also, obviously, this podcast is on Apple Podcasts and YouTube, and our website is fuelthefirefighters.org. We're also going to be having a gala coming up March 25th. I actually just saw the venue. It is amazing. There's at least 20 antique fire trucks.
That's cool.
Really,
Where's it
really
gonna
cool. It's at a secret
be?
location, but I can show you the pictures of the
Okay.
fire trucks. They are amazing, and it holds about 200 people, and it's just going to be amazing. Maybe we'll have to auction off Hank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Services. Yard cleaning, maybe shelf.
Any service.
Yes, any services. So so let's go ahead and I'm gonna say that during the podcast, we're gonna be talking about stories, and I just want to make sure that the listeners know that the names of the real people will not be mentioned, nor will the actual where y'all work will be mentioned either.
The municipality and
Yes.
agencies don't need names, just the station.
That's right. Yep, all that kind of stuff. All right, so why don't y'all tell us about you? Who wants to start?
Good. Hank.
Go ahead, Hank. You want to do it?
All right. Let's see. I'll go first.
Okay.
My name's Henry. Some people call me Hank on the department. Grew up in Dallas. I've been a fireman for 5 years overall. Started out doing some wildland firefighting. But that's been pretty fun. I get to work with lieutenant here. We're at the same station, so it's been a lot of fun so far.
So if you've been a
Pretty cool.
firefighter for only 5 years,
Mhm.
does that make you a rookie?
Technically, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's getting to be where 5 years is kind of the dividing line where you're not as much of a rookie anymore. But by old school standards, I've heard that you're a rookie for 10 years, but technically you're kind of always a rookie. Is the best way to look at it. But yes, I'm still very much in the rookie ranks.
Are you Texan, native Texan?
Yes.
From this
yeah,
area, from
yeah,
Dallas,
from-
Fort Worth area?
Yeah, born and raised in Dallas.
Cool.
Great.
Yeah.
And how about you, Lieutenant Corral?
So my name is Cesear Corral. It's actually Cesear,
Cesear.
but
Okay, spicy.
not a lot of people can roll their R's. So I was born in Durango, Mexico, and I came over when I was about 4, then left, then came back when I was 6. and we settled in Grand Prairie, Texas. Grew up in this area. I got my residency somehow. I don't remember, but I do remember just thinking I got to be a citizen. And then I had a very good mom, single mom, very sheltered. So I wanted to leave at 18. So second I turned 18, I signed up for the Navy. I got a tattoo, and 2 months later I was gone. So I knew I wanted to be a firefighter, or I was interested in it from September 11th happened when I was in high school, my junior year. So I mean, that's pretty brave. I can't believe that these guys are just going to do it. You know, whatever happens to that building, they're going to go and do their job. So I thought it was an honorable thing to do. And then being in the military, I wanted to get out so that I could be a father, because no disrespect to anybody in the military, but it's a lot harder to be a father when you're away a lot. But I also knew that I wanted something that was military-like, and so even more reaffirmed my desire to be a firefighter. So I got out, worked at Lowe's for about a year, and then I got on the department, and I've been doing it for 13 years now.
Great, like the structured environment with the ranks. Is that what you?
Yeah, and just I'm not I don't like. I think I'm undiagnosed ADD, but my mom just used the belt.
Yeah. Me too.
She's like, here's your medicine. And I don't like, even at the fire station, I think me and Hank kind of have the same thing. We don't like just sitting around. Some firemen are just like, oh, let's just watch TV. The second we're done with the call, or we don't have a sport to play or training, or I'm bored. I don't care if I'm working for 12 hours, I'm bored now. So let's do something else. And that's what's great is you show up to work every day and anything could happen.
Yes.
There is no structure. You're not just watching the clock going, well, 8 hours from now, I'll get off. It's
So you've created.
the most
your own, yeah.
unpredictable day. You know, it could be slow day, it could be 5 fires, it could be
Chaos.
it could be,
Nobody-
you know, 10 degrees below or 110 degrees outside. It's just
Well, for
fun.
clarity too, I'll say when, you know, from my former life being in emergency medicine and, you know, on a fire department as well. A slow day means there's nothing active going on or like calls coming in, which
Correct.
for civilians
Yeah.
is a good day.
right.
But for, you know, firefighters, it's a slow day, or
Yeah.
not a good call sometimes, not much to run. Right.
And usually you want, at least your firefighters that want to be good at their job, want a busy day, because kind of equivalent to if you're a soldier, you're not going to get good at it without doing it.
They won't practice,
If you're a surgeon, you need to do surgeries.
right?
If you're a firefighter, you need to fight fires and have recs and have CPRs. And the busier you are, the better you'll be in 5-10 years from now.
It's like
Yeah,
a lot of
if you sit
training.
still, you get rusty
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, and also in your profession. Yeah.
in my profession
Yes, you
too.
have to keep fights.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Right, which is backwards, right? For the listener, for the regular,
Correct.
average, you know, average person, we don't
Right.
necessarily want to see wrecks on the road, or
Mhm.
we don't want people to be
Mhm.
injured, but so it's to make, you know,
yeah.
interesting.
So if it is a slow day for you guys, how do you pass the time? What's your favorite thing to do? What do you guys do?
Want to answer this?
Yeah, a lot of people, especially Lieutenant, as you can probably tell, likes to work out. And exercise is encouraged, so he does pretty well in that area. But for someone like me, if I'm usually cooking, so that takes up a lot of time for me because I'm a pretty slow cook. So I will, you know, go to the grocery store, and that also takes me a long time because I almost do laps.
It's an experience. Go to the store.
In the grocery store, I'm not very
You're gonna run
calculated.
5K.
Yes, you get your steps in, I'll say that. So I
So
do
you
that.
don't have your list before you go?
No, yeah, I have a list. I know exactly what I'm gonna cook, but I just have a hard time getting it all, you know, in an orderly fashion.
Okay.
I do have diagnosed ADD and things, so that I have, you know, that, but
Squirrel.
yes, lots of squirrels. But yeah, I'll usually be in the kitchen for most of the day, and then you also have things that you gotta do around the station for certain days, like you have, you know, bathrooms this day, you know, windows like on Fridays. You know, on Saturdays, you do like the lawn and stuff, and
Yeah,
sometimes-
I always tell firemen make the best housewives, because we cook, we clean, we stay in shape,
Keep things
we just
tidy.
happen to be guys.
Mhm.
You know, we do all the
We
things,
do all the maintenance.
we do all the laundry, we know how to do everything. So it's, a lot of it is training too on our,
Mhm.
and that's kind of where me and my captain come in. If it's a slow day or we think it's gonna be a slow day, then I'm always thinking about training. How can we simulate, you know, a rescue? How can we simulate a car being trapped? How can we talk about tactics? So, yeah, there's really no dull moments even when it's slow.
Do you have a lot of administrative things in your
Yes,
role?
that I'm actually, yes. Technically it falls on the captain, but I'm
Or the
I'm
battalion chief?
his right hand man, so. In the morning, while most of the guys are checking out the equipment, I'm in front of the computer, making sure that people are getting paid, that people are getting. You know, their overtime, or someone's gotta go to some kind of special training, or, so I'm doing all that, but it's not like an office job, it's just literally like an hour in the morning.
Sure.
And then I just gotta come back every once in a while, check emails, and my chief, she reminds me, hey, I sent you an email, cool.
I think I met
Sent you an email
her.
3 hours ago, oh, yeah, I'll get right on it, you know.
I think I met her when I was going around introducing myself at first. You
She's-
guys probably all thought it was crazy, and
She's
that's
like the
okay.
toughest
She
fireman of all
looked
of us.
tough.
Yeah,
She looked tough. She looked nice, but I wouldn't want to make her mad.
no, so we raced in a triathlon, and I like to tell that I didn't train, but I did train, so chief, if you're watching this, I did train. And we beat her by 30 seconds, but she's 13 years older than me, like this much taller, and she's a beast. I mean, I really didn't think I'd beat her. I when we were done, I said, there's no way I won that race.
You're like
I was
extra pasta the
beat.
night
I was
before.
extremely worn out.
She's
I
kind of
couldn't-
intimidating.
She's extremely,
Yeah,
she's really tough. so.
yeah.
I have a question for you guys. Are there events that different stations are asked to participate in, or like, going to school, stop, drop and roll, different things like that? Are there different shifts, different events, or like,
So
unfortunately, a service is needed for a fallen firefighter? Are there certain stations, or is there a certain
No.
team that goes?
no,
to these things?
so they can you can always request a show and tell, and it just has to go through the paperwork. So there's you put in the paperwork, hey, I'd like for the fire engine in this district to come to my elementary school and show the kids that, and then they'll schedule, the battalion chief will schedule which engine can do it, or which station, and yeah, that's part of something that we do. We went to a funeral like 2 hours in East Texas, because one of the firemen that had worked at our station requested our engine.
I see.
So it came in and she said, hey, tomorrow you're driving to this town and you're gonna be in the funeral. Cool. So yeah, we do just special requests.
That's great.
Mhm.
I mean, I just didn't know how that kind of how it worked out.
Oh, yeah, we do a lot of different things. We also helped this one young fellow, remember the jujitsu training?
Oh yeah, that was
To get-
interesting.
he
That
was
was interesting.
to get, I guess, some community hours. So we helped him through him putting on or hosting like a training, which was also good for us because sometimes we deal with some crazy citizens. So he kind of taught us some moves, and
That's
we helped
great.
him by, doing
Mhm.
fulfilling his parameters that he
There
needed.
you go.
That's kinda
Because I think he actually was from Brazil.
Yeah.
So he was like the real
Yeah,
deal.
yeah.
So it was pretty neat, but we do stuff like that when we can.
It comes in handy. Actually, I had to use martial arts. I was put in a chokehold by a patient once.
Oh geez, at the office?
Yeah,
Goodness.
he was high on nitrous, and I think he probably took a pill or something
Oh,
that he shouldn't have. And it was huge. He was a big man. He was like 300 something pounds, big tall guy, like Lurch from whatever. Anyway, he reaches out, he goes like this to me. I'm like, that's weird. And then he goes like this. And he,
Oh, geez. Do you have any help?
huh?
Do you have any help? with that?
No, honey, I don't need help. I got it. I popped him in the apple.
She
She
has
don't want to
tools.
mess with me.
There's instruments
I'm
and tools
telling
that are
you,
hands.
Yeah, what?
No, I do. I have sharp things.
Could have been.
Right.
That's scary.
Right.
No lollipop for you.
No lollipops. I do. I've been giving out lollipops this month for the month of October. It's National Dental Hygiene Appreciation
Oh, I
Month,
know.
just so you know.
Well,
That's cool.
You should
Thank you.
go.
I should appreciate
and
it. The dentist that I'm now.
we
Yes.
appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm often, it's cool.
Yeah.
Learning all the new.
So for the listeners, Lieutenant Corral is married. Just so you
Yeah.
know.
Mhm.
Even
However,
though
Hank is not.
Hank is not, he is on the market.
I am the Lone Ranger, yes.
It's okay. Hey, that's okay.
It happens.
Do you guys have another job outside? Are you 24 on, 48 off in your station? So do you have another job or
Oh, yeah.
another like side business or a hustle?
I don't, I live a pretty boring life outside of,
Oh, he's a full-time student right now when he's
Yeah.
off.
although right now
That's not
I
boring.
am going through, this paramedic school,
Oh, okay.
which can be pretty intense. So my off days are, you know, try to study as much as I can
Would
when
you,
I can.
would you do rotations within the department?
Yes. Mhm.
That's cool.
Yeah, I've got the one left. We do 16. Tomorrow actually be my last rotation
Clinical rotation.
right out. Mhm.
Oh, cool. Any in the hospitals? I'm sorry. Any in the hospitals?
Oh, yes, yeah, we did that back in August. So
Good
we
for
did
you.
like psych and then an ED and like L&D, all those interesting places. So it was really cool to see you know, the different varieties of things that happen in the hospitals and what they have to deal with.
How long is the training?
I think in total it's about 7-8 months. So kind of long, but really not that long in the ring.
Well, and when you can schedule your, depending on what people do for a living, and when you can schedule your rotations and clinicals, it depends too. It could be longer, shorter, but
Yeah, it can count.
and it's unpaid, so it's grateful that you're there. We're grateful that you're there and
Oh.
learning.
Yes, always.
It's your time.
How about you, Cesear?
I've had a lot of part-time jobs actually. Because of the 24/48, so I used to ride an ambulance, a private ambulance. So you have the ambulance through our department and then a private one. So I would do 48 hours sometimes on an ambulance. And that would that was really hard. That was a really hard time. And that helped my wife get through dental hygiene school.
Nice.
And then I worked at a children's hospital for a little bit as a tech, the paramedics, they call them techs there. And then I've had a little business, like a little tree trimming business, just trim trees. And then what else? Right now I'm training so Hank did wildland before he got on. I'm training to be part of our department's wildland team.
Oh, great.
A lot of that is on our own dime, but once you get in, then you get deployed a lot to, not Africa, sorry, California.
Oh my God,
Africa,
let's do it.
California and, East Texas, West Texas, wherever, a lot of stuff to the west. I'm sure y'all watch the news. It's really dry the last couple of years. It's really been just burning up. So, the help they can get, and we go. We have a team, so I just signed up to be part of that team, and that will pretty much be like my part-time job.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's a whole different kind of firefighting.
And it's incredibly interesting too. And there are
Oh, yeah.
things that come up, and I can remember, just I probably said last time that we, did a podcast that in my prior career, and I said earlier, I was in EMS and then some firefighting. But there are things that come up. Like, for example, years and years ago, there was a space shuttle, and then there was like debris that fell,
Mhm.
and because it has to fall
Yeah.
somewhere. And so, we're deployed to pick it out, pick it up. And
Yeah, that's wild.
different things that
Yeah.
happen. And it was here in Texas, not too terribly far away. And so like
Disaster response.
just different kinds of disaster response that I don't think that the general public even think about.
Yeah, so the way it was described to me by this captain, I can't no names.
Oh.
He very, very good officer that I had. And he said, if you think about it, we're just problem solvers. Because as a young fireman, you try to remember all the rules and all the procedures and think, well, he did it this way. I want this. You cannot write a procedure for everything. It's not in black and white.
No.
So if you just show up as think about it's a problem, just gotta solve it.
Critical thinking skills.
Just gotta solve it. And then that once you start applying it to everyday life, and yeah, space shuttle, it could be anything, wildland, water rescue.
And then you
Just solve
adapt,
the problem. Stay calm and solve the problem. And that's all we do. That's literally all we do.
and you adapt and overcome. Like,
Yeah.
okay, this didn't work,
Yeah.
so I have to do the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's at this moment that I wish I knew the words to Ice Ice Baby.
What?
Stop, collaborate, and listen.
Oh,
That's happening with brand new.
we should put that in our procedures. We should put it in.
If,
I met
check
him.
if
I met
there's
him.
a problem, I solve it. Check out how
Yeah.
the DJ
Yeah.
involves it.
My son's gonna listen to it.
Yeah, and he's actually super supportive of
I think,
law enforcement
Oh,
firefighter.
really?
what's his name?
His name is Ben Winkle.
So our captain actually grew up with him.
Yeah, he didn't grow up very far from here.
I think he's from Texas.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Texas.
Yeah,
The
that,
captain grew up with him.
I'll turn.
He's gone to like a party,
Rob Van Winkle.
something like that.
I met him the other day.
Yeah, I would say your name from the business fund, but our campus name, like, I think they know each other pretty well.
Wow.
They're about the same age.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
that's
which is
crazy.
not very old, by the way.
It's
He's our age.
It's not old, it's just
Yeah,
saying.
not a little-
Not old at all.
it's just-
Seasoned.
Young man.
All right, so,
Hmm.
okay, you mentioned that you were in high school when 9/11 happened. So tell me about that, what your memory of that class is. Yeah, what class?
I
Where
was-
were you?
Not dating my wife, sorry, wife. Dating another girl. And I remember walking her to her class. And, cause I was a gentleman. And then I went to, it was physics,
Some firefighters are gentlemen.
some, but they're usually married, but.
Oh.
Sorry, Hank, no, Hank, this is a good one, Hank is a good. one. He's a good one. So. We, I have a lady teacher, and I remember her, we all had TV screens, and
With the big TV back.
that, yeah, we did, yeah, there was no flat screens.
Yeah.
So you had the little TV in the corner, and you like, you roll it, push it around.
Yes.
Yeah.
And,
Videotapes.
yeah, so. We had a test, and it was physics class, and we had a test, and we sat down, and then another teacher came in, it's like, you have this channel on TV. Plane just crashed to New York City or something. So she turned it on for a little bit, and she turned it off, and she said, yeah, that guy's gonna get fired, whatever, let's finish this test. And we never finished our test, because another teacher came in and said, hey, this is big deal. So when we turned it back on, now there were 2 towers on fire. And I remember thinking like, wait, is this like a different angle, a different footage? And then now it's really quiet. Now the world's like starting to pause. And then they mentioned that this is possible terrorist attack. And then I remember from there and going to football practice, we had like within one of our periods was just workout time. And then football practice after school. And coach said, hey, everybody go home.
Yeah.
Everybody go home.
We
All
didn't
your
know.
parents.
We didn't know what was gonna
Right.
happen.
And the one thing that stood the most is, so I drove my girlfriend home, how quiet it was, because you get used to the noise from planes. But
Mhm.
they had,
Especially
all the
here,
airports were
especially
shut
where
down,
we are.
especially,
Yeah.
in this area. I remember, that she walked inside, I was walking back to my car, just thinking, this is so quiet. And then that's when that little bit of fear came in, because okay, something's changed drastically about the world.
Yeah, where are they going next?
Right, and I had no clue about that, and then within the next day, in a couple hours, I found out, the Pentagon, the one that landed.
Camp David.
Is that Camp David?
Camp David's the one that the
They-
Catholics took over.
Yeah, that's amazing. And,
Yeah.
but processing that is what, like, man, oh, you're firefighter,
No, that's
Yeah.
amazing. Well, I think here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, because I remember where I was, but I live not too far from a nuke plant. I mean, there's just nuclear plants here.
Yes.
So people were leaving South Texas and coming north, and they were price gouging on gas. It was $90. And then the
Yeah.
president at the time was saying, you will not gouge the prices back. And it was just pandemonium for a minute, but it was also quiet because we didn't have the social media and the things that we did. So we were really dependent on the news.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was a different experience, something we'll never forget,
Right.
knowing and living through it.
Yeah. And how about you,
Uh,
Mr. Hank?
yeah, I remember I was in middle school, 6th grade. I was in my homeroom teacher's class, Miss Akins. But I remember that the teachers didn't tell us. I found out from a classmate, like one of my good friends. And I specifically remember them keeping it like a secret. I don't know if it's because it was Catholic school or what.
Maybe
but,
age,
maybe
maybe
Oh,
your
yeah,
ages.
that's pretty.
Possibly so, yeah. But I remember finding out from my friend, and the school they went on pretty much as usual. And then of course when everyone got picked up at the end of the day, that's when things started, really getting talked about. But I remember the teachers kind of almost keeping it a secret. But I do remember when I got back home, because I grew up right next to Love Field Airport. I do vaguely remember it being, pretty quiet, because usually, planes are flying over, every 5 minutes or,
Every 30 seconds, something like
yeah.
that.
But I do vaguely remember that, but, yeah, I was pretty young, 6th grade, so that's, I remember.
Isn't it funny though? I mean, just to your point earlier, when you said something about problem solving, that as we look back now, that's all that our teachers, our educators, people they were just trying to problem solve with something
Yes.
they'd never, they didn't know. They kept it quiet because they're all in the office trying to figure out, or we're all somewhere, but the adults and the leaders at that time were just trying to figure out what to
Yeah,
do
nobody
next.
knew what
And I
to do.
never thought, what about the younger kids? I had never had the thought until now, and now that I'm a dad, like in
Exactly.
elementary school, you wouldn't want to tell any of them anything.
No, not yet.
They
'Cause
would
they're,
just,
they're,
Let the parents.
they don't
tell them.
understand.
Yeah,
yeah,
And we also didn't know who was there because of where it was in those towers. There were people from all over the world and all over the United States who just went there to work periodically. So yeah. But they were just like us and our ages trying to figure out
Yeah.
what to do.
yeah. I was trapped at Baylor Hospital. They didn't let me go home because reality was we knew CPR and we're at a hospital. And if the federal building's downtown Dallas, so they were,
you worked at Baylor at the time?
well, I was a student,
Oh, okay,
but so
and they wouldn't let you go.
they didn't let anybody go home. So we're trapped watching the news in the student lounge for hours.
For how long did they keep you?
It felt like hours,
Oh,
at least 4 hours. At least,
I would imagine until
Yeah.
after they fell,
Yeah, so
yeah.
their thought is, if
they knew that they had
if
all
people
the-
are coming in, if something happens in Dallas,
And
you
if
guys
some,
are capable workers that can help.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
we could help keep people alive.
Yes.
That was
Mhm.
but yeah, we were trapped there for hours. And then when I was driving home, what was the weird part was, I wish I remember what the words were, but people had, do you guys remember after the attack? The days and weeks following, people had flags
Yeah.
on their cars and people had banners.
That was the most united, I think.
And
Yeah, we were
Yes.
solidarity. We stood together in solidarity.
which that feeling is partly why I started Fuel the Firefighters, I think, because when I started it, we were also isolated. And I just remember how amazing it felt and how
Oh, yeah,
everybody was just so friendly
like
and
completely opposite.
together. And it was
Yeah.
just completely
Yes.
the opposite of COVID.
Yes, yeah.
And so, and then it was just kind of like that polarizing moment when it was the 20th anniversary
Mhm.
of the year before, but here we are just so separated from one
Right.
another. So that's maybe like one of the other reasons why I felt so compelled to like reach out to let you guys know, like, you're appreciated.
We haven't
As-
forgotten.
No, we have not forgotten. And all those COVID patients had to get to the hospital somehow.
Mhm. Mhm. The
Okay.
veterans.
You guys didn't only run regular average calls, you also were probably starting to run COVID calls and shortness of breath calls and all of the different symptom calls. So
And our department, as far as the administration for us, talking about problem solving, they were just kind of making it up. Every new shift that we walk in, there'd be a new procedure,
yes,
or the procedure would change, or now you have to wear this, now you don't have to wear this. Don't take them or do take them, and it was just
Nobody
hectic.
knew
No
what
one
to
knowing
do.
what to do.
Nobody-
yeah, so we blazed a trail, all of us, they blazed a trail, just in our different roles.
Yeah.
it's Definitely first or anything like that.
I just see so many parallels, but it's totally different situations. Like nobody knew what to do with 9/11 and then nobody knew what to do with COVID. And I know that when 9/11 happened, those firefighters are so brave. I know that our previous guest, Lieutenant Sims, said because of 9/11, a lot of policies changed
Yes,
Yes.
all around.
in fire departments across America. And I wonder if there is going to be the same type of impact because of COVID. If it's going to be like a lasting, if there's going to be policy changes because of COVID.
I don't know about the fire department.
Good question.
Is a good question, right?
I don't think anything's changed in
Not so
ours.
much.
No, I really thought that the mask was gonna stick around more as far as forcing the medics on the ambulance to keep the mask on, or maybe
Yeah.
on all patients, because it does prevent not only COVID, but a lot of.
Other
There's
things,
still
yeah.
masks in the
The
hospital.
medical professionals will probably.
Right, but I think firemen, although we are considered medical, kind of roughnecks in that point where a lot of us don't like wearing masks. A lot of us, since we're always working outside of a controlled environment.
Right.
We want to be comfortable.
Some of us don't like being told what to do.
Oh, is that it?
So what was that?
Okay.
There's two things firemen hate, change in the way things are. Those are-
Right.
Yeah, we're pretty difficult and very archaic in our ways.
Okay, so is there a story
Okay.
that sticks out in your mind, like a good story?
You want a funny story or?
Funny or
Intense.
Oh.
or
Adrenaline junkie kind of moves.
Mm,
I mean,
That's-
a colorful story that sticks out.
anything?
I mean, there's a lot. I've got so many, I've forgotten some. Which is a good thing. Or we can. We can talk about the Manor House fire, which is actually on Lieutenant Sims' shift. I got overtime in
That's a
his
good-
position.
That's a good one.
Oh, really?
And so. I don't want to get too technical, because I can nerd out on
Yeah,
this.
no,
I
totally, yeah.
nerd out on firefighting and
Nerd out. This is-
so
I think
structural firefighting is what we are. Structural firefighting is for cities, right? This is a structure and fire and smoke. And the building will behave differently than a wildland. Right, so a lot of the fires. It depends on the construction of what it's gonna do and how we're gonna fight, right? We're not
Okay,
gonna fight a one story, 2-bedroom house that we would a Walmart. Like we would an 80-story high rise.
okay,
Right, so. Our procedures are when fire comes in, is we try to take the elevators 2 floors below, if we can, 8 stories or less. We just take the stairs. So. It's after dinner, I've already worked out really hard. I remember doing legs, I had a big bowl of chili. And we had a fire where automatic fire alarms happen all the time, because it's kind of a Section 8 apartments.
What
But
was the
it's
type of fire?
20, it's a fire.
No, what was the type?
It's a 25-story apartment building
Apartment building.
oh, okay,
Downtown.
downtown,
okay.
central business district.
Okay.
So it came in as an automatic fire alarm. And we always literally pull up and they're like, disregard, it's nothing, it's just a
Right.
system going off. So we pull up and it's only engine. It's Lieutenant Sims' engine and crew, which is, I think is funny. And now, instead of one person going, there's a bunch of people coming down the street,
Oh,
a bunch
no.
of people, and I've got, and people go, it's on fire, the 25th floor is on fire. And I didn't look up, I should have looked up, but it was, the sun had already set. And apparently, if I would have looked up, I would have seen it, because there was videos from different high rises of the fire. I actually have a picture. And I told the driver, all right, go ahead and tone it out as a fire, tell everybody we have fire, we're going to get dressed. And being new to downtown, there are systems that you have to know how to take as an officer, how to control the elevators, how to shut down fire pumps, how to do this. I'm still pretty new and very impatient. I've been told I gotta go slower, because I'm very offense speed. And I went to trade control elevators. And it didn't give me instant anything. I did it again, and tried it inside. Our boys were hauling it 25 flights.
Goodness.
And that's where your fitness comes in. So we did get to the top, there was a fire. There was people throwing up other fire companies, no one admitted who it was. There's people throwing up, there's people dropping their gear, there's people just not in shape.
Oh,
And
no.
then when I got up to the floor, the truck crew and the chief met me there, because they took the elevator, they took control of it, which taught me a lesson to slow down. And there was another set of keys in that actually. So we get there, which it was on fire, and we got in there, we put it out, but most of it was already decaying.
Bella,
It's cool. But anyway, so one of the story is I learned that it's not as scary as you think it is, and a lot of those high-rise fire, it looks more intimidating than it is, and if you understand it. It was physically intense. I was exhausted. I was beat. I think I slept for like 12 hours the next day.
could you tell how the fire started, or?
Yeah, so they actually, one of the residents said that his friend started it, meant to start it, it was arson. And surprisingly, a lot of our fires are arson. A
Yes,
lot
I'm
of the
sure.
fires we make are arson. I had no clue until I became fireman, how much fires are intentionally set.
So people are crazy.
Oh, yeah, wait a minute, yeah. Oh, yeah, like starting fires, whether it's apartments, mental health, schizophrenia, homeless people,
Why do you point at me when you say mental health? Like, what's that?
Because you seem like you're educated on mental health. You're very, like you're very with it.
Story.
Oh, you deflected, you deflected. Anyway, that's my story. Yeah, right. So, yeah, so, there you go, that's my story. Okay.
No, that's good stuff. I mean, were your quads the next day where you're like, my legs?
Yeah,
I'm done for 2
you know,
weeks.
like I couldn't do anything.
Yeah, jello,
Yeah.
totally jello and painful.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Yeah, people talked about that for a long time, like several weeks after it happened, because we also worked at another downtown station. It was a pretty big deal, and then we went to go look at it, for training purposes afterwards, so, yeah, it was pretty crazy, so it really does happen downtown.
So do you have a good story?
Oh, not like that,
Been around for 5 years now, Hank. Got a story.
Delivered any babies?
let's see.
Weren't you on the shooting with me on the truck?
Let's
Like I got shot on the highway?
see.
Okay, how graphic can we get into,
Get graphic.
are you sure?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cause it gets bad. Were you not with me on that?
What was that, Gresham
Yes.
Center?
Oh, it was Gresham Tucker man.
Yeah. no,
Well, I'll just do the, so for listeners that are listening, and if you are sensitive to things, then maybe
Oh, yeah.
fast forward.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. But if you are into things, then give a listen. Go ahead.
Mm,
Oh, I don't, there's a detailed story.
Obviously, don't be specific about your street names, maybe. or-
Right, right.
Just the street names. Yeah, I've seen some things that I wish I wouldn't have seen. Graphic things like people, getting hit by vehicles and then there just being a bunch of pieces and terrible things like that. But I guess the one I like to think of now is I grew up in Dallas, and when I was younger, I was always, painfully shy, like super shy. But I do remember vividly getting like a wave from, firemen, like on the engine or the truck. And that was like a big deal because like, oh man, are they waving at me? Like, were they really waving at me? But now, as I've gotten older, I remember that feeling and it made me, really feel special. So now I take actually a lot of joy or enjoyment out of like just waving to little kids when I'm on the back of the engine, because that's, that's probably the greatest job in the world when you can do that. And like you see their face light up and, it really means something to them. You can really see it on their face that,
I can see it on your face.
I can
Oh,
see it
oh,
on
yeah.
in your tone,
Your
your
name.
name.
yeah, so,
Yeah, it's really providing a lot of service.
kids really
kindness.
do. I still think.
Was that your motivation for being a firefighter? You think that was a big influence?
Yeah, I think it was always something that was in the back of my mind. I remember when I got to college, I was in junior college, I was, be playing baseball, we'd be in the outfield in practice. And we would talk about, being a fireman, man, what that would be like, if this baseball thing didn't work out, fireman, that'd be pretty awesome. So I remember that. And, for other cool reasons too. But yeah,
He wanted the mustache. You guys, he has a really amazing
well,
fireman mustache.
I appreciate that.
You have to log into, see
yeah.
the video,
Yeah.
check out that, you want to give the camera a
Yeah.
look,
Oh, yeah,
check out that.
There's, I guess that the
You
episode.
still might be not painfully, but you still might be a sliver shy, I think.
yeah, I still have my.
You're a little
That's
shy.
okay. It's not a deficiency.
The episode is named Hot and Hotter.
Yeah.
I don't know, you got the mustache, then you've got the tattoos.
There's all kinds of opportunities here
There's
for
opportunities to watch on YouTube for sure.
Mhm.
And
learn more about the field of firefighters.
yeah, and actually, so let's like ask some fun questions now. Why not? Right?
Sure.
We were talking about movies earlier, and you asked if we were like movie people.
Oh,
Is there like a favorite movie that's like maybe firefighter themed that you like?
let's see. Yeah, there's two that come to mind right now. One is you've probably heard of it. It's a structure firefighter Backdraft, the original one. Sequels,
Yeah,
no,
sequel's not good.
no bueno. But yeah,
With the Baldwin brother.
the
right?
one with Kurt Russell. That's pretty much legendary status. And then there's another one. It's called Red Skies Over Montana, I believe. And it's like an old school, I think, in the sixties. I don't know if it's in black and white, but it's like a old school wildland movie, probably the first wildland firefighting movie that paid tribute to the smoke jumpers in Montana back in the day. It's a pretty cool one if you're into vintage films. Some-
Okay,
How vintage are we talking? Like 20 years, 30
Oh.
years, 40?
I'd say it came out either in the fifties or sixties.
Okay.
Okay, so that is
That's
vintage,
vintage,
that's-
that's border vintage.
before our time.
And if it's in the 80s, it's not vintage.
It's not vintage. It's in the 80s.
It's
Jump down.
That's an old one. But yeah, that's very nice.
Bella, you're so cute.
Have you seen, I think I brought it up last time, was it Deepwater Horizon?
Horizon.
You've not seen that? I think that was about the oil crisis or the oil spilling crisis in the Gulf.
Yes,
And it was like, have you seen that?
I have, yeah.
With Wahlberg, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, Marky Mark.
I mean,
Yeah.
Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch, that takes me back.
But I went down a rabbit hole after you said that movie and I watched that movie, but then I also watched Fear.
You did?
Yes, I like that movie with him, Fear,
That's funny.
from the 90s. Reese Witherspoon,
Mm.
they were the it couple. How about you? Sorry. You like
Movies?
any movies that stick out in your?
Backdrops is definitely,
Yeah, that's,
and then, I just watched, and I think I messed up because I let my kid watch it. What's the firefighting one in Arizona? Only the Brave?
only the Brady, Granite Mountain.
Yeah, I had just gotten done doing some wildland training.
That's a great
I
one.
did only the Brave.
Here.
She
Very,
likes it.
very
She
sad
is.
that she just.
She's inserted her dominance.
That's me, like how they.
This is how most relationships. That's how.
You guys think it's not single anymore, my talk fellas.
Clearly.
I know, she's like,
Like, yes, you gotta have.
it's your pheromone thing.
You're like,
all the
you're being
testosterone.
on with the pets.
Such a sweet.
Ah. So funny.
Okay.
All right, so in your free time, do you guys ever get physically competitive? I mean, you've got all that free time.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, very, very competitive, yes.
Our shift, we do a lot of, training.
okay,
And sports. So what other we do? We do soccer, we've done basketball,
Ultimate Frisbee.
frisbees, extremely difficult.
And it gets very competitive.
Yeah, but we try to keep it, I think our crew, we try to keep it fun still, but sometimes you can tell people like to lose.
Everything's intended to be on a professional level.
Sure,
obviously,
okay.
But then some people get carried away.
Yeah, and there's some rules that are made or not made or
And
broken.
rules, yep.
I do know about one rule that you guys can't do more than 25 push-ups and.
What?
I don't know. Was that
Lieutenant Sims told me.
More than 25 push-ups?
I
in a
thought
minute?
that's what he's, or maybe,
And-
or
No more than or no?
no
less?
more, no
No
less
more.
than, no less
Oh,
than, no more than.
No, so that you
No
don't have
more
injury
than,
to
so
the
you don't
bicep.
hurt your arms.
Oh, that's
or
gotta be a
something like
joke.
that
Did- Did somebody get hurt?
Or maybe I misunderstood.
Maybe he
what you
doesn't,
said.
maybe he doesn't do more than 25. So he says that's the limit.
Well, whatever he can do, I can just do one.
Okay,
Oh,
so,
is that right? We
oh, is that what it
That's
is?
been
The
recorded.
push-up-
That's been recorded.
push-up challenge,
That's
maybe
like
for
it's a
future
real-
episode.
Yeah, that's a real thing.
Well,
We
what
can
if we
try.
do a little competition right now? In my,
What do you
in
wanna
my
do?
kitchen.
What about an arm wrestle across the table?
Oh my God, yes. Arm
I
wrestle.
think that'd be
Do
fair.
we like,
That'd be fair.
which of you think she would win?
Who would win?
I think Hank wins on this, the mustache intimidation.
Well,
I'm gonna try hard though.
Have you tried, have y'all done this before?
no, but
Okay.
Lou is, a known endurance athlete and he's also a boxer.
No.
So I think, maybe in the beginning, but,
But there's strategy to it too.
Yeah.
So
sure. Well, I guess we'll just have to find out.
let's do
We
it.
just have to do it.
Okay, let's do it.
Get up
Yeah.
How are we doing?
Do it over the table.
It's right here.
The table, for sure.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Get those elbows.
Yeah, move that glass out of the way.
Like-
Sure.
Throw
We got
down,
this.
just
We're
throw
we're
down.
doing
Is it
this.
like to the death? or-
This is really happening, everyone. This is happening.
Everybody got some money over here.
Right,
Put
okay.
money on
Oh
it.
my gosh, you know what? I bet you.
Listeners, I think the listeners should like in your mind, who do you think out of these two guys?
Yeah.
You give a look to the camera there.
Oh, yeah.
Eh?
In this corner, weighing at, no, Hank. Rookie. And in the other corner, we have Cesear. And-
Not rookie.
Not rookie, lieutenant. All right, you guys.
All right,
You ready?
Elsie.
Ready?
I guess we can go ahead and
Okay.
engage.
Yeah, he has bigger hands. than I do, for
All
sure.
right, guys.
Oh, that is my butt on the seat.
I
Yeah,
think so. I think that's like a
Yeah.
rule.
Is it a roll?
butt down or butt up.
He has to, look
He
at
has
that.
leverage.
Are you watching with the hand?
Yeah, he has experience. He's done this before.
Okay,
Oh,
all right, and,
Ready?
okay, go.
All right.
Yeah, he's awesome. Hey, stop. Stop.
do it.
Hey, you're gonna hurt me.
This is not about position.
You're gonna hurt me.
This is just about strength and endurance. Dude, come on.
Oh, good job, bud. Good job.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, yeah.
That was good.
I felt like there was like a jab of like, just give it up. Come on. I'm the leader here. I'm the leader.
I thought for sure with all the cooking and stirring and
You know,
But I can see some guns.
I was
I can
gonna
see
do
some.
this.
there's the gun show.
Exercise.
It's good.
That's what we were doing before we showed up.
Yeah, all of you guys just got free tickets to the gun show, which was good.
Yeah, well, you know, okay, so if you were ever have, this is the question I was just kind of thinking. If anybody ever asked you if you'd be on a calendar, would you? Would your wife let you?
Well, I wouldn't ask for permission, but yeah. I don't think she'd let me do anything.
I think it would be appropriately. put
yeah.
together Anyway,
Yeah, I would.
You do it?
like maybe in the kitchen.
I would,
Yeah.
Maybe-
Oh, that'd be perfect for you, man.
shirtless might be an issue because I have a lot of, you know, like picadillo, hamburger meats. And some people are put off by that, but yeah,
So people like that.
I could for certain people, you know, they might like that, but I'd be a little more hesitant than, the, you know, male model here. But I think I probably would, because I would think it'd be for good cause.
Yeah,
A lot of women like your look.
Oh,
yeah.
There's a market for you.
There's
well,
some, yeah,
Thank you.
there's someone,
There's some out there.
there's folks for everybody. Yep.
Yeah, so listeners on the podcast, y'all need to go to the YouTube to see who maybe is hot and hotter. And there could be a debate on the comments.
Oh, absolutely.
I think so. And so I
How
just,
do you find that at YouTube?
oh, well, you just go to YouTube and then you put Fuel the Firefighters and then you'll find us.
All the episodes.
All the episodes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And also on my website, I'm gonna have a link and on Facebook as well.
Is on the YouTube, should be, if these folks find the episode, will there be in the comments, the link to your website?
Yeah, there will be.
Okay.
And hopefully, when you go to watch the YouTube video, you subscribe. That would be great.
Bring snacks, hit subscribe.
Hit subscribe.
Watch it.
Yes, exactly.
Support.
And to donate to Fuel the Firefighters. So next weekend of the 9/11, we can hopefully reach more firefighters. That would be great.
Next year will be
And,
amazing.
and again, actually, it's not just about giving lunches and donations to the individual fire stations, but I have in my mind, I want to establish like a grant that fire stations can apply for.
No, it'd be
You know,
amazing.
so if there's people that need something for their station, then they can holler at me and I'll help them.
Oh, cool.
But all
yeah,
that's,
Thank you.
yeah,
that's
I think
awesome.
all that's made possible by people who log in, link, follow and donate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Instagram, Facebook, yeah. Fuel
Yeah.
firefighters.
Well, thank you so much, Cesear and Hank,
Thank you.
for coming.
Absolutely.
We so enjoyed having you and stay
It's a
tuned.
lot of fun.
Yes, absolutely. It was a lot of fun. Stay tuned for the next episode of Fuel the Firefighters. Yes, thank you, Alex. Alex says bye.
Bye, thank
Bye.
you.